This is Colm mcguigan for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined in San Francisco with Dave Coldwell. Dave, first of all, how you doing, mate? A little bit jet lagged. You've been in Vegas for how long? 2 weeks or so? A week?
Do you know what? I don't really get jet lag. We've been in Vegas for a week anyway as well, but I didn't really get jet lag out there. Got into San Francisco last night after a brilliant week in Vegas, working out the Salas Boxing Academy out there. Ebony getting her last 2 spars in, finishing off all the major boxing work. Stephen Cairns sparring out there with world champions, good prospects. It's been really good quality.
Let's talk first about Ebony. I spoke to Ebony about the whole Avril Mathy fight falling through. Then there was different opponents that fell through, some that went missing. Is it tough for you to prepare a fighter for someone like Yoshida, who's quite experienced, 2-time world champion previously, at such late notice like this?
Yeah, it's tough because Ebony's, she seems as though she's been around a while, but she's still quite inexperienced herself. Regardless of her status of being a world champion, she's inexperienced, and so things like this, you have to manage the mindset and the mentality side, and just get to focus on doing what they do, because you don't know if this is going to be an opponent. We've had, I think it's 4 or 5 opponents where we've said, yep, gone away. Your mind's on that, you're watching videos on them and thinking about this fight, and then it changes again. But ultimately, it's about what Ebony does in the fight, and Yoshida's she's a test, and I don't know, it's getting panned. Obviously, it's getting panned, Whoever it was going to be, it was going to get panned. I think even if the mandatory had taken it, it would have got panned, even though she was unbeaten, 11-0, I think 9 knockouts. And that's the one that we said, let's get the mandatory out of the way. But you can't focus on that. She's got a job to do on Saturday night. She's had a long time out of the ring, major hand surgery, moving from south to north, moving coaches, getting used to a completely different environment. So there's a lot there for her to digest and deal with, and she's just got to go out there and just perform, really.
Ebony said that she feels revitalised under you. She feels that she's snapping down her punches more. She feels that she carries more power now. Is that something that you've noticed through working with Ebony, that you believe that there's a good opportunity for her to get the knockout on Saturday night?
It's not just about whether I believe it or not. It's important that she believes it, but also the thing is the people that she sparred with before, they've all noticed it. So they've noticed the way that she is in the ring, how she's delivering punches, and the effects of those punches. Have had more of a I've had something where the people that she sparred with before have actually said, flipping out, So that's quite important, because it shows you that for the work that she's putting in, and where it is, obviously when you're learning, when you're trying to change something, when you're trying to tweak something, sometimes things can get frustrated for anybody. It's important that you see results as well. So now she's just got to go out there and do it under the pressure of fight night, and that's the big step.
We'll move on to a few other things in a moment, but just the main event here, I'd like to hear your opinion on how that goes. Devin Haney, obviously a great boxer, Prograis, the knockout artist. How do you feel this goes, and is it a great match of styles for you as well?
I think so. Do you know what? The build up to it, I watched all the content out. Obviously, we have we've downtime while we're out in Vegas, and I've watched all the build up. I've loved it. The face off between those two is quite. I mean, it's not a pushing and shoving one. The verbals, I think it's the best face-off I've seen. Prograis is just so funny, and Haney, to be fair, bounces off it really, really well. It's just brilliant, and it makes you want to see it. It makes you want to see the fight. The build-up could actually be better than the fight, because I think for Haney to win, he has to make it quite boring, and box, move, and on a fan's perspective, keep it simple. It's Prograis that's got to make it exciting. Prograis punches. He punches hard, and he's clever. He's skillful. If you watch him in he's a fighter. When he boxed Josh Taylor, I thought, regardless of the result, I thought that was his springboard. He was going to be a star, and it kind of didn't work out that way. But I think this is his opportunity now to go out there and turn himself into a star. If he can go out there and get rid of Ebanie, then he is right. He is going to be right up there. Whether or not he can, I don't know, because Haney at the new weight, I think he should take a shot better. At the new weight, I think because he's massive. He's massive anyway. He should physically be a lot stronger and perhaps more powerful as well, to go with that sharpness. But at the same time, Prograis punches like a monster, so it's a good fight. It's a really good fight.
The next one we'll move on to Jordan Gill's win at the weekend. Tough for me to speak about because obviously Michael Conlan, proud Irishman from Belfast, really a trailblazer for Belfast boxing over the last while. But Jordan Gill with a great win, and we seen Jordan in the ring, and he was very emotional. You're almost like a second father to him. Just first of all, did you expect that from Jordan Gill before the fight? Did you go into that fight thinking that he would be able to take Michael Conlan out of there? Because everyone kind of wrote him off.
Yeah, I believed he could beat him. Because you've got to understand that I've always said about Jordan is he has got world class boxing ability. He's phenomenal. It's just that sometimes he doesn't believe, or my thing with Jordan was he would put people on a pedestal too much. With something like Kiko, it's like I know what Kiko's done, but he's an old man, but he would still focus on how good he was and how hard he'd punch, or even with Guerfe, he would say, yeah, but is that he was always putting people on a pedestal because he's a nice kid. Sometimes when you're a really really nice kid, you don't I don't know, sometimes you prefer to give out the compliments and then receive them and say, oh yeah, I am actually on that level, I am actually good. But when Jordan's not got that pressure on him and he just lets it flow, he's brilliant. I mean, there's countless hours of sparring footage that I've got with him with countless top fighters where he just looks amazing. We went out to America a couple of times and he just absolutely took people apart. He's got it all as a fighter. So ability-wise, I don't doubt him against anybody. It's just that mentality. But when he walked out, as I know him, I know his reactions as he's coming out to ring it. And when he walked out from the changing room, they showed him on the corridor. I said to Stephen Cairns, who I was watching with, I went, he's on it. And I just wanted to see what it was like when he was on that stage, because I always said to him, enjoy the ring walk. Don't rush, enjoy it. And against like Guerfe, against Kiko, he rushed to the ring walk, and it was total opposite with what we spoke about, and just soaking it up and just relaxing and enjoying. And when he just prowled around that stage, that big stage, I was buzzing. I was genuinely, I was like, he's going to fucking do it. And he did, and he was brilliant. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was brilliant. And he always said it, when the decision was made for him to go up to super featherweight, he always said he's going to feel so much better. And in sparring, this is why I was before I remember speaking after the Kiko fight, because he was just bouncing up and down. I was like, he has never done that in sparring. I've never, he never gets hurt in sparring. He's got a good chin on him, so that's why it's got to be the way. And obviously we wanted him to move before, but when you're not the promoter's favourite, and when you've either got a high ranking or you've got a title at a certain weight, I had the same issue with Jamie McDonald. You can't just bin your title off and go up in weight because the promoter, you're not one of the favourites. When you are one of the favourites, you can, and then you get moved into a mandatory, or you get a shot straight away. That's how boxing is. And so, when it comes to the Kiko fight, it was the weight, and he showed that because he looked so. His physicality was so much better in that fight as well. It just looked great. It looked sturdy as a super featherweight.
When you watched that and you seen Jordan get the win, just describe to me the emotions you felt, Dave. Because let's even speak about when Jordan was speaking in the ring. He was speaking from his heart. He was obviously quite emotional. He told a story that not many knew. I imagine you probably didn't even know that. Did you know anything about that story?
No, I knew that it split up with his wife, but I didn't know the rest of the story. And I'll be honest here, it's something I'm struggling a little bit with. So I'd rather not. I did an interview yesterday, and I didn't know that I was going to react like that, and I'd rather not. I'd rather focus on his win and how I felt when he won. It was outstanding, and I'll be honest with you, I was so happy. I don't care that he's not my boxer anymore. He will always be my friend. He will always be part of my family. You know, I spoke about it before. He's my little boy looks up to him, and he's very, very close with him, and he's very, very proud to call Jordan a friend. I'm very, very proud to call Jordan a friend. So I was just elated. The only thing I was gutted that I weren't with my family watching it. You know, I know he was watching it with his sister. So I was gutted that I weren't with him. But I was me and Stephen, because Stephen loves it. He's been a role model in the gym for Stephen as well. Stephen sparred countless rounds with him, learned so much of him. We're just all as a team. Opie Price messaging, everybody in the back in UK. Everybody's happy for him. It couldn't happen to a nicer kid. I can't explain to you what great. This world's full of shit, and it's full of people that give you headaches. It's full of people that are always looking to try and screw you over, or just not nice people in general. These people, Jordan and his dad are the nicest people in the world, and to see them now have the success, and to see him where I feel he should belong, in the big, in the big fights, earning some good money. I want him to change his life financially. I want Eddie to really look after him, throw the checkbook at him, make some great fights for him, get him his world title opportunity, and just secure his life, because he deserves it. So yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just really.
For a lot of Jordan's life, I imagine he would speak about you as like his second father. Whenever that, yeah, maybe, well, you're giving yourself a little bit there, Dave. I'm not too sure about the older brother shit. I'll go with the second father, maybe grandfather actually. Nah, but in terms of like that relationship between you and Jordan, is there a part of you that is a little bit disappointed that together you couldn't have done it? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but almost just because you knew that he could achieve this.
It's not disappointment, not at all, because I feel that's just being selfish. That's just being selfish. He came to me when his career and everything, he was ready to walk away. He said, if you don't train me, I'm going to retire. And he was a kid that was boxing 6'2s. That's what he was doing, boxing 6'2s. 3 times against same journeyman and stuff like that. And he'd not boxed for 18 months. And he asked for me help, and I felt sorry for him. And I was like, okay. He'd been up at my gym sparring, and okay. And then, so I'll see what I can do for you. Regardless of where it's finished, from where it started to where it ended with us working together, I can die tomorrow and say at least I helped him get to have some great memories in boxing. He won a couple of internationals. He won a Coldwell title where he was absolutely overjoyed at. He won a European title where he was absolutely overjoyed at. These are big moments in fighters' careers, and so for me to be a part of that and to help him with that, so I don't become part of a story that ends up where he's a world champion. I don't care. I've kind of helped him, and he's gone on to open up a foundation in his name, in his own his area in Chatteris, set up all that. So I'm quite content. As a boxing coach, it's not me that's going in there and getting punched in the head. As a manager, it's not me that's going in there and getting punched in the head. My job is to try and help these guys that are, or women that are getting punched in the head and putting their lives on the line. Try and help them to get to where they want and to try and improve their lives, And so I'm happy. I'm content with that. More importantly, is regardless. It's a bit like with Bellew, where I don't train Bellew, but I'm watching him in the jungle and things like that. And
What do you make of him in the jungle?
Fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm only seeing clips while I'm on. My family's sending me clips, or seeing him on a league of own and stuff like. And you're just dead proud. You're like, do you know what I mean? I spent 7 years with him, 6 years with Jordan, and I'm dead proud. And I'm looking at Jordan now, and I'm dead proud. I'm dead happy, and that's all it needs to be.
Last one from me. If Jordan Gill came to you in the next 4 to 6 weeks and said, Dave, I want to rekindle this, I want to come back to the gym, would you do it?
No. That is a really daft question. I'll be honest with you.
But you're someone that he knows well, no?
In the terms of, right, we've just seen that interview where his life was at absolute rock bottom, right? And part of that reason it'll be because he spent 10 years away from his family, and he got to rock bottom, and he needed to go home and be comfortable and be happy around his family. The boxing's bullshit, mate. Boxing, all this, it doesn't mean anything. And he's with people that are great. Barrett, Ben Davison, Lee Wiley, fucking great team together. There's a camaraderie in that gym. He's with Lee Wood, who's his best mate. Leo, his best mate. He's with people that are where he's comfortable. He's going to be happy. There's no way that's happening. You can't take a man who's hit rock bottom in one place, take him out of that where everything's now lit up and happy again, to then go and put him back into that place that was part of a reason of why he's rock bottom. So
apologies if that came across as a daft question, but from my perspective, I understand that, but I obviously was unaware of that was why he was feeling down due to his family. So
I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. But it's got to be part of a reason. Everything sometimes it's not just one reason. But obviously, if you've got a wife, you've got a family that you see a day and a half, and whereas you just a bit of banter about it, and you don't make out as though it's an issue at all, but inside it might be that's part of it inside. Then there's the loss. Then there's the not knowing what's happening with your career. Then there's the promoters that you can't get a looking back with. I'm not just saying it's just that reason, but it's got to be part of the reason. There's all sorts of things that can go off, and this is what I'm over here, so I heard that to the extent for the same first time, same as everybody else, and it's just my head's just I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Well, Dave, obviously you're emotional about this, and it's understandable, and I really appreciate your time on IFL TV, mate. Really good to get your opinion on it, and we wish Jordan the best in his journey, and thank you very much for your time, mate.
Cheers, Tom.